And the other sequence I've been doing, which I really, really like, is, let me just get one more hair elastic in here.
I have 2 tennis balls.
Yeah, yeah, grab that. Get that set up.
Yeah.
So what I've been enjoying doing is, let's get the pulley tower out of the way. Okay. Is I've been going sequentially from the root of the spine all the way up, because often, as you know, Robert, there's this connection between the sacrum and the cervical. So I've been doing this rocking and pandiculation. Polly, I think we've done this before, but maybe we haven't. So getting your balls set up here and rolling, so you have the balls on either side of the sacrum, close to the tailbone, around the inferior lateral angle, and you massage up and down this way.
Would you say that again? Either side?
Yes.
To the tailbone?
Yes, close to the tailbone.
Either side of the spine?
Yes, exactly, close to the tailbone. So you're on the lower part of your sacrum, which I believe is called the inferior lateral angle. There's like a little, so you'll feel, if you do this sitting mostly upright with your knees bent, you can feel a part where you are either in between your sit bones, and that's around the level of the tailbone. And then if you go up a little higher, there's like a little notch in there, and that's the inferior lateral angle.
Ah!
Yeah. So, and then once you've acclimated to the pressure a little bit, just allow, with breath and softness, you're going to windshield wiper your legs, keeping your pelvis stable on the ball. And you have to observe your spine your pelvis very acutely. And
So wait, are you moving your thighs?
I'm moving my thighs, and I'm allowing my feet to come off the floor, and I'm trying to keep my pelvis very still.
What if you could only move a tiny little bit?
Then you only move a tiny little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this whole sequence, so is once you've done like maybe 4 sets of wipers, then you'll move the balls up a level. So now you're above, yes. So you gradually work your way up the spine. I mean, if you could do each vertebral pairing, then you could, but that would take forever. So I usually just do a couple chunks. Here's Pam, you keep moving. So right now we're below, I put the balls, here's the pelvic crest, I put them right here in the middle of the sacrum.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Hold on. I'm having to rearrange the furniture a little bit. Okay. Oh, I need to give Gus his meds. Hi, Pam. We're doing a little rolling sequence to get started.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, grab your yoga tune-up balls, the blue ones in the bag. So yeah, and so then you'll do your windshield wipers. And you can observe how your mobility, your range of motion changes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You can observe how your range of motion in your legs change when the ball is at each level. So it's powerful. So then you work your way gradually upwards, but attending to the lumbar and the pelvis, I mean, and exploring these. Hey Gus, they can't see. You gotta come over here. Come over here, sweetheart.
Gus.
Hey, hey, sweet doggy. Yeah, go to your mat. Mat time. Go to your mat. Mat time. Good boy. Oh, very good. Wait right there. I'll give you a treat. So above, oh, here's Angela. So above the pelvis, it's, I mean, you just explore all of these motions.
Mm.
We're here. Hello, Angela. Welcome. Angela, to just catch you up to speed, we were doing some 2 balls and a sock rolling to attend to some lumbar stuff as it relates to neck, upper body stuff. But ultimately, we're not going to stick with that. We're going to go back to our usually scheduled programming of the foot opening on a tennis ball or one of these balls that you stuck in a sock. Okay. Yes. So I have a hard stop today so that Everett doesn't, his first his screen time experience isn't only a Apple News press conference, basically. Okay, somebody's texting me. I don't know. Okay, so if you have a tennis ball, use that. I'm using this other ball today. It's a similar density, slightly different. The stomping and swooshing, and Net's not joining us today. She has a conflict, but she's going to be doing a video. So another opportunity to practice. Here's Deborah. Welcome, everybody. And this is when welcome, Deborah. I'm muting you all so we can get cracking. You unmute yourselves as you see fit today. So we're starting with our tennis ball. We have the full-length foam roller, and we have some light hand weights. We're going to incorporate a few more stretches into our routine today. So we're stomping and smushing on the ball. Inner line, middle line, outer line of the foot. Hi, Gus. That's my water bottle. I know, that's mine. It's beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Go to your mat. It's nap time. And don't mind the baby elephant that's jumping up and down upstairs. Everett has learned how to hop. So he's hop, 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 hopping all the time. Once you've done the stomping and smushing at each level of the foot, place the ball just behind the ball of the foot, arcing side to side, mobilizing the ankle, massaging the latitudinal arch of the foot, and trying to get the foot to dome around the ball. And breathing. And relaxing. Everything else as much as possible. Feeling a sense of stretching. So Pam and Robert, if you're using the yoga tune-up balls, these are slightly bigger than a tennis ball, I think, just ever so slightly. So I feel more stretch along here, the outside of my shin. From there, place the ball underneath the ball of the foot, spread the toes wide, reach, wrap, lift, and pull. Spread, reach, wrap, lift, and pull. Spread, reach, wrap. Our foot doming, strengthening the sole of the foot just behind the, so you feel bulk of the strengthening happening. Strengthening, cramping, just behind the ball of the foot and into the arch. And then we'll change sides. I'm going to adjust my camera angle slightly. So, stomping and smushing, step and roll, step and roll. Oh, Deborah, body good today? Good. Okay, great. Arms, shoulders. Painful, tight. That shoulder, left shoulder. Okay. Sounds like one word. No, you're good. As long as I'm correct. Okay, got it. Angela's she's also being like, yeah, me. It sounds like this thing over here. She can't.
Yeah, the good news is I got the vaccine.
Ah!
The bad news is my arm is pretty sore.
Got it. You got this. You got.
Yeah.
That's our charades. Or
You were doing great though.
oh, good. So yeah, so we'll do a little, we'll do a little bit more self-care today. I feel like this has been a stressful week for people, plus just current events. Robert, you're not the only one who's going through some stressful stuff. After we've done the 3 levels, I totally got into a trance with that stomping and smushing on this foot. Arcing the ball, so the ball is just behind the ball of the foot. You're arcing side to side over the ball, mobilizing the ankle, trying to touch the inner border of the foot down and the pinky toe side, the lateral border. Oh, which may or may not happen. As we do this, we're also getting internal and external rotation of the femur. So with that joined ball motion of wagging, for those of you who were here early, we did this sacral massage stuff that goes up the spine. Just a little snippet of it. You need 2 balls and a sock. So then we'll do our spread, reach, wrap, lift, and pull. Spread, reach, wrap, lift, pull. Continue the thought from before, so the internal and external rotation. We lose that, and it can, the whole organism, rooting into the spine, spinal tightness can lead to pelvic and hip socket tightness, going all the way down. Conversely, hip tightness can go all the way back up into the spine. We're all connected. So the more we maintain all these parts, both independently and synergistically, the better we'll feel. And breathing in through the nose. Nice long breaths through the mouth today, particularly if you're feeling more stress. Or you can exhale through the nose. From here, let's take our single ball. We're going to do a little bit of first we're going to do a little pec release at the wall. We did this last week. So you can do it also with your hands. You don't need a wall space. You can just self-massage with the ball along the pec muscles in a fan shape, right, towards the shoulder. And particularly paying attention to underneath the collarbone, working in a way that feels good for you, that shouldn't feel totally agonizing. Yeah. And exploring, this is more like a, how'd you do, body? How are you today? Because 9:30 is still early enough, and we don't always know. Deborah, I'm sure, getting Julian off to daycare, preschool today is always like, oh my God, and I made it home. Okay, now it's me time. Yeah. So just take a minute, everyone, to check and see how this part of your body's doing. Change sides. If you're at the wall, turn your head away from the ball to get a nice continuation of stretch along that fanning line. And if you haven't already, be sure to get down. So if the head is turning away, we're getting this diagonal through the pecs this way. One could imagine that. So you want to be sure that you're getting that down swath in addition to this upward swath. Oh, yeah. And if your hand trying to keep the free arm as relaxed as possible. Get it out of the way enough. Oh, okay. Then we're going to stay at the wall or go to the floor. In between the shoulder blades, just brown bear it. Like a brown bear, you got an itch. You can go up and down on one side. Get in between the shoulder blade, I just want to get a little bit in there. Pam, it is super nice at the wall because it's less strain for your neck. So Pam, you'll put your hands behind your head. Yeah, to support your neck and head. And you'll bridge up. I love the one at the wall too because it's another opportunity for squats. A human can never do enough squats, can they? I don't think so. Is it possible? I mean, probably, but oh my goodness. I'm feeling it. In case I'm squealing it out for y'all too. I know this is not comfortable. We're feeling sensations. Particularly, I don't know, left inner corner of the shoulder blade, which is where the neck starts to connect the upper traps down in there. Yeah, it's great. Loving it. Then we're gonna go and do a little bit of glute release, just a wee bit. So this one you'll go to the floor. So we'll call this a scrubbing sequence. Supporting your weight with your arms and your feet. And you're on one glute and you're scrubbing the ball up and down. You're rolling over the ball up and down and gradually working your way towards the outside of the hip. You'll stay on the outside of the hip to get some of this little... So we're scrubbing up and down this way, onto the side. You get a little bit into this greater trochanter front hip bone little angle here, just a little bit lightly. Make sure you get onto the side and then change sides. Oh man, I got to take part, Deborah, it's breathe girl, breathe girl, breathe, breathe. I got to take a gyrotonic pulley tower class. I've only done about an hour of a 2-hour and 15-minute class, which focuses preparing the body for the archway, which is the grown-up jungle gym. It's like a giant arch, which is why they call it the archway. So I'm feeling sore all over. I'm preparing myself for equipment for you when we can go back to being in person. There's an archway at Movement Lab in the Mission. We will get one at the new location when we can. Oi. Switch sides if you haven't already. We're just kind of doing just enough to feel awake and alive, to be aware of the tight spots. They won't go away in the amount of massaging that we're doing. It's just, that takes slow intention, and we just don't, we got workout to do, people. Continue to breathe. All right, you feel balanced, you have enough either side. Finish your other side if you haven't already. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the 2-ball setup, you can do this with a sock that you tie off. But these balls are really nice. You put it in a little mesh baggie, and it has a toggle and you tie it off. So the balls stay together. So if you use a sock, you just tie it off so that the balls stay together. And that way, you can use this roll to massage along either side of your spinal column. It's great. We'll revisit that next week in our usual reconnoiter time. So come back to standing. Take a moment to organize yourself. Feel your feet alert and attentive to the sensation of being on the floor. Feel your hips awake and active so they can connect energetically from the soles of the feet, energetically reaching up through the legs. Alert and awake through the pelvis. Feeling the pelvis shoring up 2 sides to help the spine elongate and blossom upwards through the body. And kumbaya. Inhale, place one hand above the navel, one hand below the navel. So your finger, you feel a little bit of sensation close to your rib cage depending on your proportions. Close your eyes and expand into your hands, and then soften as you exhale. Inhaling through the nose, expanding into the hands. Exhaling through the nose or mouth, softening. Inhaling and exhaling.
Harriet, I can barely hear you.
Again? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting the situation better. Somehow also my volume gets all the way turned down on the laptop. Breathing in and out. You're going to do 3 more breaths. I'm going to get my ear pods in. AirPods? I don't know. Whatever you call them. Breathing in. And out. Okay, you should be able to hear me just great now, Polly. Give me a thumbs up. Although, Polly, I can only see your feet. Let's just do one more breath here. So stop breathing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Take a full deep breath in. As you exhale, really pull the abdominal wall actively away from your hands. Bottom first, then top. Full deep breath in. Actively pull the bottom hand away, then the top. Inhaling. And Pam, we're closing the rear pelvic outlet slightly as we do this, just because Pam and I have been working on this. With a deeper explanation next week. Exhaling. Keep this awareness and tone through the body, but continue to feel a sense of expansion and contraction to accommodate full deep breathing. Exhale, lean forward, hinging forward from the ankles, and inhale, shift your weight back. Exhale, shift your weight forward, and inhaling back. 2 more times this way. Exhaling forward, and inhaling back. Coming center, we'll shift side to side, inhaling, and inhaling to the other side, and then we'll exhale, exhale. Nice long exhale. Inhaling, nice. Inhaling, and exhaling. 2 more sets, woohoo. And exhaling. Feeling the inhale bypassing the neck muscles. So as we inhale, we're drawing the air down into the body. And exhaling, pressing the air out of the body from the bottom up. Good. From here, we're going to go to the floor today. So a little deviation. We're going to do an exercise I call telescope arms into chalk circles. So it's a scapular opener exercise. And so you'll get down to the floor. You'll lie on your back. So either roll onto your side or carefully walk yourself back. And you have your arms out to the side, just slightly below the shoulders. You want to be sure that you have space around your body. So I'm going to reorient my mat just slightly so I have room to move. So I'm not sure I have that. Okay, I'm good. So we start, it's a kind of a little self-massage sequence, in part, and we're trying to keep the legs active and together. So put the feet and ankles all the way together with the soles of feet flat on the floor. Knees will be together, inner thighs active, so you'll feel a sensation of staying softly active through the legs and connecting the legs into the pelvis. So maintaining a small amount of abdominal tone. And then you'll take your right hand. You're going to touch the front of the right pec, just below the collarbone, and then you'll slide the hand, massaging along the upper chest, the upper ribs, until you get to the left arm. And then you'll just keep massaging along the left arm, and you'll notice you're going to start to want to roll. So you're going to go with that, but you're going to keep your legs as active as possible. Keep your head on the mat as much as you can, and keep the top arm touching the bottom arm. And then you'll slowly roll. You're rotating sequentially from the top through the middle back, and then finally you tip over and you're lying on your side. From here, there we go, you slide the top hand beyond the bottom hand so that you're almost trying to get your chest onto the floor. The knees and the hips are still stacked up vertically, so you're not totally lying on your stomach. The pelvis and the legs are staying stable. Then you'll stack the hands back up. Shoulders will be stacked up. And then you'll unwind from the top. So the arm and the shoulder lead. And you're going to stay active through the legs. So Angela, you remember we worked on this previously. You're staying active through the legs, so that way, as the right shoulder starts to go towards the floor, that is pulling the pelvis, which is also pulling the legs back. And then you unwind. And then we do the other side. So I think I need to show you from this view. So we'll do the other side. Yes. Yes. Oh, coming in and out. Oh, darn it. Anyone else having that problem? No, I just said, is anyone else having that problem? Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. But we'll just, so if you need to watch once, and then I'll talk you through it, and then if it keeps happening, just let me know, Angela, okay? Thank you. All right. So, we're lying here. Now we're going to do the left side. So if you're watching, you can watch the side or join in. So left hand to the front of the left side of the chest, sliding the hand across the chest along the right arm. And you'll start to want to roll your hips with you. Try to keep grounded and active through the legs and the lower abdominals, just a little bit. And there's a struggle right here where you feel a nice stretch across the back diagonal, and then eventually you have to tip over and lie on your side. Shoulders are stacked up, hands are stacked up, hips are stacked up, knees are stacked up, ankles are stacked up. From there, that's your check-in point. Slide the top hand beyond the bottom hand. So you're stretching out the bottom shoulder. Stack the hands and the shoulders back up. The hips and the knees and the ankles have stayed stacked up this whole time. Then you're going to unwind top first. So start to pull the top shoulder back. Allow the arm to come with you. Open from the arm. And then once you feel like you could just relax and plop onto the floor, you're not going to do that. That's your indication that you feel a gentle pull from the front ribs on the left to the bottom hip, which is the right hip, to pull that across, grounding through the left back of the left shoulder and opening the arm to the side. So the legs and pelvis stay active. We'll do the other side. So right hand to right shoulder, join in if you haven't already. Slide it across just underneath the collarbones at the top of the ribs. Continue to slide and slide and slide. Keep your head heavy and supported by the floor. And then there's a moment where you just can't go anymore. So allow the pelvis to move with you to allow yourself to continue to rotate top first. And then you lie on your side. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, hands, everything stacked up. Slide the top hand beyond the bottom hand, stretching out the bottom shoulder. Inhale, stack the hands back up. Shoulders are stacked up. Hips, knees, ankles continue to be stacked up. Unwind, pulling the top shoulder back. Softening the arm. Allowing the chest to start to open. Keeping the pelvis and the legs active and the connection between the right ribs and the left hip in the front to pull the pelvis back from the top. All right, I'm going to change my angle one more time, so hopefully that was helpful. You're going to keep going. We're going to do this set. We're going to add on and do some circling of the arm on the floor. So we're doing the left. Sorry, we're going to do the left side. Did we do both sides? Hold on. Did we do both sides? 2 sets of chalk circles. Angela, is it happening again? It's happening again. Yeah. Okay. AirPods going off. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hopefully it sounds decent. Great. Okay. So, where are we with this? We've done 2 sets of your side spirals. Let's start with the right hand, right shoulder, sliding across, tipping over, reaching the top hand beyond the bottom hand, stacking the hands back up, and then keeping the right hand fingertips touching the floor. Circle the hand up above the arm towards the head, circling as much as you can, opening the chest but keeping the waistline and the hips and the legs active and facing the wall. So you're not...
There's no way, Harriet, there's no way I can see you and do this at the same time.
No, there's not. Can you hear me?
And it's really hard. I mean, I wasn't even aware you were doing something different.
Oh, man.
I think what would be helpful is if you quickly showed it to us.
Okay.
Then talked us through it.
Okay. So here, just keep watching. So here we go. We're swinging around, and then we stack up. So you basically do the first part. I'll show you on the other side. Here you are. Slide the hand across, stack back up. Reach the fingertips on the floor. Hips, knees, ankles stacked up. So I'm keeping anchored through my pelvis as I circle the arm out and around, opening the chest, opening the front of the body. It's not splatting out to the side. You're staying active and resistant and feeling a sense of length in the spine. So, I will talk you through it and I will watch you. How's that sound? Does that make sense? Okay. Since no one can see me, so everyone's going to do their right side. You're going to lie on your back with your arms out to the side. You're going to take your right hand, fold it in, bend the elbow, slide the right hand across the upper ribs underneath the collarbones, massaging and telescoping the top arm out over the bottom arm. There's a point where you must lift the shoulder up. You're going to twist from the shoulders onto your side. Hands are stacked up, shoulders are stacked up, hips are stacked up. Exhale, slide the right hand beyond the left hand on the floor. Shoulders will unstack. Stack the hands and shoulders back up on your inhale. Then as you exhale, you're going to trace a circle around your body on the floor with the right fingertips starting reaching overhead. You can soften the elbow and bend the elbow. Just go in a range that feels good for you, like you're drawing a big lasso. You'll stay on your side, Polly. So your pelvis is staying on your side, so your back won't fully connect to the floor. And you'll keep circling the arm all the way around. So stay active through the legs until your arms and your shoulders are stacked back up again. Right. And so, Angela, explore different ways of softening the elbow to feel like you can keep your fingertips touching the whole time. Good. Do one more circle on this side. Reaching up overhead. Yeah, so you're staying on your side, Deborah. So keep your hips. So you're not going to go as far as you want to. Exactly. So keep reaching the top knee towards the camera and the top hip towards the camera and go even slower. Go super slow. So it gives you a chance to, like, let's do a third one, people. So you really can see where the tricky spot is for your body to stay stable. And once you've done a total of 3, unwind yourself once your hands are stacked up from the top first. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, good, Robert, thank you. All right, so here we are doing the other side. You're lying there with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Legs, inner line of the legs are totally active. Feel a sense of zipping up through the pubic bone and elongation through the tailbone, 3-dimensional cinching inwards of your canister, just lightly. Left hand to the front of the left shoulder, sliding across the pecs, across the arms, so you're rotating, and then eventually you'll lie on your side. Hips stacked up, knees stacked up, ankle stacked up, shoulders and hands are stacked up. Then you'll slide the top hand across so that your chest is turning towards the floor. Then you'll stack the arms and the shoulders back up, and then you'll go into three sets of circling, restarting by reaching overhead. Start with a soft, small range of motion, really trying to keep the fingertips touching the floor. There is, of course, that moment. Right. That's nice, Angela. Good. Nice, Polly. Keep going. Keep reaching up and around and behind you, Polly. Yeah. Good, Pam. Nice, Deborah. This side seems a lot more stable, Deborah. Maybe it's also because you understand the concept a bit better. Or both. Yeah. So continue to breathe in and breathe out and noticing how the body wants to navigate this circling motion. And feel a nice opening through the pecs. We're getting this serratus connection by keep maintaining a long spine. Don't worry about that if you don't feel it specifically. That's okay. Once you've done 3, you'll unwind yourself from your hands, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles stacked up with side lying position and unwind top first. Nice, Pam. Okay. So I wanted to add that in before we did all the rest of this shoulder work. Take your time. Yeah. And now you're totally relaxed. While we're here, you're finishing up your last set. After you finish your last set, you're going to set up so that your feet are in line with your sit bones. So the legs are slightly apart. The knees are pointing straight up to the ceiling. They're not too close to your seat, but they're not too far out. Just right. That nice little Goldilocks. Make a tent shape with the knees. Hands are by your sides. You're going to exhale. Keep your legs relaxed and really use the front abdominals to pull the pubic bone towards the ribs at a small pelvic tilt. And then inhale to return. Exhale to do a small pelvic tilt using the abdominals. And then inhale to return. We're going to do 6 more of those. Exhale to tilt and inhale to return. So we're trying to stretch out the low spine, activate the rectus abdominis in addition to our pelvic floor and transverse abdominis. Inhaling. 4 more. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling either through the nose or the mouth. Two more. One more. From here, you're going to bring your right leg up into tabletop. We're going to repeat the pelvic tilts asymmetrically. So one leg is off the floor, the knee is above the hip. The shin is about parallel to the floor. You're going to keep that leg still. And you're going to tip your pelvis. So it might feel a little bit more challenging to do that. We're going to do 6 of these. So that was 2. This is the 3rd one. 3. The pelvis is staying on the mat. 4. 5, Polly, keep your knee in the same place and space so that the leg's not coming closer to you. Yeah. Great. Good. Change legs. So left leg is up. Keep the knee in the same space. So what Polly was doing, which is great, and everyone can do too, if you want to just touch your fingertip to your knee, just to see if it's moving. See, you might feel a little bit of buoyancy up and down, but you don't want to feel any pressure coming towards you. Pay attention to, we have 2 more. Pay attention to how your pelvis is rocking on the floor and how much your legs are helping, your single leg is helping you. Good, just keep that leg up there. You know this is coming. Other leg up to meet it. We will repeat. So the legs are slightly apart. The knees stay above the hips. If you want to keep your fingertips touching your knees, if that was helpful for you, go for it. And you'll do your small pelvic tilts. Ugh. Because now, what's helping you? Your abdominals. And your breath. Yeah. Feel a sense of your deep pelvic organs coming down and back like it's the trough of a wave. 2 more times. 1 more time. Good, and then place your legs back down either 1 at a time or 2 at a time. Delightful. So, now, Deborah, you loved that one, didn't you? You did. Polly loves that one too. That's one I like to give Polly. All right, now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Grab your roller. Horizontal, neutral curl-ups, and now our lower abdominals are prepped and primed, ready for adding some of this alternating leg work. We'll do a sequence of, I'll just show you quickly first, arching back, coming into our neutral incline position. Oy, oy, oy. Picked the wrong hairdo today. Okay, so curling up into our neutral. So we're not sitting up. We're arching back over the roller, and then we're curling up into an incline position. We're going to do a sequence of actually just 4 of those. Then we're going to arch back, inhaling, exhaling, right leg up, arch back a foot down, left leg up, repeat. So 2 sets. I'm showing you fast. And then we do 4 sets of double legs if you feel like it, or just keep with the alternating legs. I'm pushing with my feet, and you're gonna exhale with serenity. And if you grunt it out, that's fine, as I was doing, because you might need to do that to help you get there. So, 4 arching to incline. You can do, if you recall from previous weeks, the elbows come together and up and open and wide, and then you come up. So this kind of circling of the elbow to help with our shoulder mobility. Then we'll add the legs. So here we go, people. We ready? We're ready. So elbows together, arching back, inhaling. Widen the elbows. Keep the tops of the shoulders relaxed and curl up into your incline. Elbows together and up to the ceiling and back. Inhaling. Widen. Exhale up. 2 more like this. Elbows together and reaching up and back. Inhale. Widen the elbows. Press soften the ribs back into the roller to help you lever yourself up. Good. 1 more time like this. Elbows together and up and back. And widen and up. Elbows together and up and back. Inhale. Widen. Now we'll add the right leg, folding in, pulling it in with your abdominals. So now we're getting the abdominal sequence from both sides, top and bottom. Inhale, put the foot down, arch back. Exhale, left leg up. Good. Put the foot down, scoop the elbows. Inhale, arch, widen, exhale, right leg. Foot down, scoop elbows, arch, inhale. Widen, exhale, left leg. Now we'll do a set of 4, double legs if you wish. Arching back, inhale. Widen, exhale, legs up. Good. Into your incline. Good. Feet down, elbows, arch back. Exhale, start to curl up into your incline, then the feet come up. Feet go down, elbows, arch. 2 more. Exhale. Good. Put the feet down before you go into your arch. This is the last one, I think. Oh, how great. Let's do a little icing here. Flex your ankles, just alternating toe taps. Heel taps, excuse me. Keep pushing those, feeling the bottom ribs anchoring down and back into the roller, using the leverage of your roller to help you stay strong and stable. 1 leg down at a time, other leg. Arch back and relax. Did you feel good? You guys did a good job. go into our seated figure 4 stretch. Sans le roller. So you're sitting up. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh just above your knee, so that the very bottom of your shin is over the thigh. So the ankle is actually free. Then walk your left foot in towards you as much as you can, trying to keep your pelvis grounded and even side to side rather than twisting. So only pull the left leg in as far as you can keep your hips stable. Then feel yourself rolling over the sit bones, lengthening the low spine, pushing with your arms and trying to bring yourself closer to your thigh, in between the space between the thighs. It's a nice haunch stretch. So the more evenly you're sitting perched on the apex of your sit bones, the more you'll get out of this. Pam, everything okay? You cramping? Okay. Then walk yourself back, walk the foot back and change sides. Right foot in, roll over onto the sit bones. Ay, ay, ay. I know I didn't do the rocking side to side. When I start with my right leg, it's not as tight, so I forget, but we really need it on the non-dominant side. The swaying the right leg to self-soothe the muscle into a state of relaxation. If you want to go back to the first leg and do the rocking, please do so. Walk yourself back onto your hands and then walk the foot forward to come out of it. Then we're going to come to lying on all fours, being on all fours. Doing our scapular glides. So the previous weeks we've done our scapular glides in more planes, like different body positions. So today we're just paring down, we're doing our scapular glides in our all fours position. And we'll do our rocking forward and back and hinging, our leg extension, and we'll go from there. So, feeling the hands in front of, just underneath the shoulders, the fingers are spread wide and the pointer finger is directed straight ahead. Feel that you're pressing the knuckles on the palm side of the hand down into the floor and suctioning the center of the palm up slightly to feel active through the lower arms and the wrists to help keep pressure out of the wrists. The spine is nice and long. The head is in line with the rest of the spine. Depending on your proportions, you might be on a slight upward slope with the body from the pelvis. The sit bones are spreading wide, but there's a connection between the sit bones. The abdominal wall is pulled up and in, just lightly to help support the low spine and the bottom ribs. And you're going to inhale, let the chest slide down between your arms, the shoulder blades slide together. And exhale, push into your hands, the shoulder blades spread wide apart. Inhale, ribs slide down between the arms, good, and exhale, push up, good. So we're trying to keep the torso totally still. There's a slight hinging action from the pelvis, from the hip sockets. Inhale down and exhale up. 2 more times. Inhale down. Exhale up. Keep pushing into the knuckles. Inhale down and exhale up. From here, if you need to take a rest, we're going to right now hinge yourself back, pushing with your hands, sitting wide, keeping your spine nice and long, and then hinging forward as far forward as you can go without overstretching the wrists. So you go with what feels comfortable for you. Pushing yourself back, hinging at your hips. Good, spine stays nice and long, and going forward as far as you can go. Going back. So the spine and the pelvis are staying in the same orientation. We're just articulating the arms and the legs. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. One more time, inhaling forward and exhaling back. So if you need to watch for this next sequence, this is a good place because your wrists can be out of pressure. Otherwise, you'll come back onto your hands. Make sure your knees are directly underneath your hips. Slide your right leg out. And I want to be sure that we are single leg extension. Oh yeah, so reaching out and in. We're going to do the same side 4 times. And in, out, and in, and out. And then we'll do the other side. And then we'll add our leg circle. So left leg goes out and in. We'll do 2 sets of this, so if you missed the first set on the first side, there's time to catch up again. And in, and out, and in. Right side again. Slide the leg out and you can lift it up if this is your second set, and in. Slide out and lift, and in. Trying to keep the spine and the pelvis totally still, and in, and find elongation through the leg, out, and change sides. Out, noticing if you're shifting from one side to the other, that's totally normal. You'll feel a lot of weight as you remove the left leg, more weight goes onto the left arm. That's normal. One more time. Switch back. Now the right leg goes out, it lifts up and opens to the side and comes down. 4 circles in this direction. 2, 3, they don't have to be big. 4, reverse, side and up and in and down. 2, 3, 4. Come in, change sides. You'll feel this a lot on the waistline. Up and open, down and in. To keep the waistline from bending and to keep your tail from waggling from one side to the other side, one more, change directions. You feel more work on the left waistline. 2, 3, one more, 4. Come in, off, and back. Shake out your hands, comfortable resting position. This is when we put the roller. I had to laugh when I watched the video from, I think it was last week. This is when we get our chest onto the roller, and I did this really funny, like, plop. It cracked me up. So, if you feel like you're plopping your upper ribs onto the collarbone, onto the roller, then yes. So we're in this kind of puppy pose. So let's break this down. Actually, unmute yourselves, because I remember, Deborah, we wanted to talk about this a little bit. Right. So, yes. So what we're working here, and we're just doing it in a really funny plane of motion, this like tipped over with your butt up in the air, like the breaking wind pose. Is that what it's called? Angela and Polly? I don't know. But we're trying to work the scapular mobility that we've been working with, the scapular glides, adding it onto internal and external rotation of the arms to help find more mobility through the upper spine and better posture. So if we're thinking, I had this moment being a relatively recent breastfeeding parent where or if you're doing a lot of work at a computer, or if you have the woes of the world and lots of sadness, let's have those 3 scenarios, right? Where the pec muscles, everything kind of sinks down in the front, and everything becomes overly lengthened in the back, and the tops of the shoulders come over, and then there you are, you're like, here we are with our modern posture. Or we're just super into our phones. Fourth scenario. So what we want to think about is lifting. So if you take your hands and pull the tissue up, lifting your pecs, and as if your pecs actually go all the way up and over your shoulder girdle, and then you could pull them down the back. So it's like a pulley system here. Yes, Deborah, right? So you feel, so it's not as simply lifting your chest up, right? You feel like you're pulling all the tissue on the front of the body from the ribs all the way up. The wheel is here, and it's coming up and down, being pulled down the back. And the biomechanical parts of that are the lower traps and the lat muscles coming down that are helping you, plus others, right? So we want to get a sense of this opening both widthwise and lengthwise up this way, slightly diagonal. I could wax poetically on this for hours. So the arms come into play here, the internal rotation. So if you're just open your hands wide, put your palms facing forward. This is external rotation. Roll your thumbs forward. Bring your thumbs to point towards you with the palms facing back. And then keep going. You'll notice how that makes you want to spread your shoulder blades wide. And the fronts of the arms and shoulders come forward. That's a natural kind of feeling. Then if you externally rotate and then over rotate so that the palms are out, thumb is back, that makes you want to really open the chest and lift up. So if we're going in this internal rotation to round the upper back and shoulders, external rotation to open the chest here, that's basically what we're doing. But instead of doing it upright kneeling, or you could do it even standing, right? Which I feel like is a harder situation. We're putting it into this very awkward puppy pose with the upper ribs on the roller. So your head can rest on the mat. For the video, I'm going to turn myself this other way so that way you get two useful angles on the video. So, boink, here we are. Your head is resting on the mat, forehead is resting on the mat. You're supported by the roller across the top ribs just below the collarbones, and your hips are slightly behind your knees, and you have a nice long spine. So, from here, lift your hands up as much in line with the hips as you can. From here, internally rotate the arms and feel how the fronts of the shoulders become heavier onto the roller. And then from here, externally rotate the arms and hands and start to peel the front of the arms and shoulders away from the roller. And maybe this is enough activation for you today. Just going with that internal rotation of the arms and the shoulders. You almost feel your sternum coming away from the roller with extreme internal rotation. Then you externally rotate and peel the fronts of the shoulders and arms away from the roller. So you just feel your sternum and you start to feel your pecs stretching. If you would like to add on, inhale, internally rotate. Keep the hands reaching up. Exhale, externally rotate, and then start to roll your chest forward, floating your head up off of the mat. And then come back down. Exhale as you externally rotate. Float the head up and try to roll the roller forward with your chest. And come back down. One more time. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Float the head up, roll the roller forward. And come back down and sit back and come up. Does that make any sense? Okay, good. It's agonizing, and you feel it, I feel it right through here in my mid-back. So it's like those bottom rhomboids which help to bring the shoulder blades together. It's fun. Oh my gosh, we only have 5 minutes left. So, let's skip ahead.
Harriet,
Yes.
can I say one thing on that I found very helpful?
Please, yeah.
I love that up and incorporating it. When your collarbones are on, it's that saddle joint. So what I really think about with the extra is I actually think and feel my collarbones counterclockwise and clockwise will rotate. So that you're actually getting that, it's not that forward, back, up, down. It's that rotation around the axis of the collarbones.
And you're talking about
You get that
this way, and this way.
Clockwise and counterclockwise.
Is-
As you're on the roller.
Is this what you're talking about? This way? This winging sensation? Or are you talking about rolling this way?
Rolling this way.
Yeah. I would call that, see, it's interesting. I know what you're talking about. I feel like you're right, but I also feel like I'm just going to call that up and down because the rolling may not happen.
Rotation.
Yeah.
Actually, at the sternoclavicle.
Right, exactly.
Which isn't up or down. It's actually clockwise and counterclockwise.
Right. I understand what you mean.
And that's the sound, and it feeds you into that internal rotation at the AC joint.
Right. Let's revisit this next week. Let's go into, so we're skipping a whole bunch of stuff. You're welcome. Because we did this nice opening sequence at the beginning. So we're giving the shoulders a little bit of a respite this week. And we're going to let's do some side lying work. And then we'll do some lying tummy time. So, what we're going to do though in our side lying work is slightly different. You're going to come onto your elbow, and if it's comfortable, you're going to rest your thigh, your hip and your thigh on the roller. Something new. This other foot can rest down to help you stabilize. So, elbows underneath the shoulder. You're in a side lying plank. If it's not comfortable, so with the knee pointing forward, so that the whole thigh is on the roller. It's an interesting setup. Why I wanted this, why I wanted it, I don't know. Oh, because you're working harder against gravity and you're unstable. So this might be slightly tender on the hip. We're going to do some leg lifts up and down, up and down. And I'm noticing in the video that I'm rotating my chest towards the floor. We want to keep the chest directly side. So here you are. You can reach the top arm up to the ceiling. That also can help to open. And if you take this bottom foot off the floor, you get a nice inner thigh sequence. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Rest the top foot down. Now, if you haven't tried them already, spin the top foot off the floor. It won't come off that much. Up and down. So you're actually rotating the thigh, and you get a lot through here. Isn't that joyful? Okay. Come off. Other side. And by joyful, I meant terrible. All right. So here we are. We're getting ourselves lying on the roller, organizing the pelvis so that you're relatively comfortable. Thighs up, parallel on top of the roller. The bottom foot, it can be on the floor. Top hips are stacked up, shoulders are stacked up, head's in line with the spine, the elbows underneath the shoulder, the arm is the easiest part, up and down, reaching the arm up to the ceiling if you want, or hands on the hip if you need some help making sure your pelvis stays stable. 6, 7, 8, and then if you're doing this spinning, you can do both simultaneously, or you can just do the bottom leg. Yeah, so the top leg goes down and the bottom leg goes up, and then you would switch. This is stolen from Gyrotonic. I just did it in my class over the weekend. It was really great. Somehow this is much easier for me on this side. Anybody notice a difference between sides? Yeah. All right. Tummy time. Okay. So, you're going to come into an open all fours position. And then you're going to walk yourself back. This is also new. So that you're in like a trapezoid shape. So the hips will probably be lower than the shoulders still, just like on your regular all fours kneeling. And then we're going to do a few tricep push-ups here. Lower down and come up. And lower down and come up. We prepared your abdominals earlier for this. So your tailbone's still relating to the ceiling. We're not coming into a kneeling plank position. The hips are still lifted. So you're bowing forward. 2 more. 1 more. You'll come down, lower one elbow down, then the other elbow will go down. First elbow comes up, second elbow comes up. Start with the left. Left elbow down, forearm is touching the floor, right, and then left and right. Start right. Last set. 1, 2, 1, 2. Last time. 1, 2, up, 1, 2. Lower all the way down. Slide up. Bring yourself forward to lie on your stomach. Your forehead on the back of the hands. Take a moment to walk the legs back one at a time, opening the fronts of the hips. Feel your tailbone grounding into the floor. The pubic bone pulling towards the ribs slightly. And then you're going to float both legs up. Keep your forehead on your hands. Tops of the shoulders are relaxed. Turn your legs out slightly so the heels can beat together. And you're going to beat your legs together with a flexed ankle. Flex, 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 and point, 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 point. Flex, 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 and point, 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 point. Flex, 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 and point. Long length, active through the front of the body and hamstrings. Flex, 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 and point, 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 point. Float on down. Keep the length in the body. Tops of the shoulder relax. Push back into a child's pose to stretch out your back, or just a rounded shape, an elongated rounded shape. Stretch out the low back as you need to. Stretch out the arms. Walk both hands to the left to stretch out the right side of the back. Walk your hands to the center. Go to the right. Stretching out the left side of the back, come back to the center, bringing your hands towards your knees, your pelvis forward, come to a crouching shape, stretch out the calves, the Achilles tendons grounding through the balls of the feet and the toes. Inhale, exhale, stretch the heels down, keeping your body as much on your thighs as possible, and the hips are lifting. Your knees are still bent. From here, you're going to allow your hips to drop so that the shoulders can lift and the hands can come off the floor with a nice long spine. Deepen your knee bend. Hips will drop down. Shoulders and the hands will come up. And then you'll stand up and forward with the hips. Nice. Nice. Thank you. Okay, we got to go. I'm running late.